So we're live tonight with Kwabena Mintah Akandoh. He's the Minister for Health. He's been in the news. It's a busy period. Indeed, health and education have been in the news, I think, for the past 2 weeks because lots of people who have been trained could not be employed. The Minister for Education gave some assurances. The Minister for Health gave some assurances. The Minister for Finance gave assurances. So it's like a very important season for professionals within those two key sectors. There's also a lot being said about health infrastructure in the country. There are concerns around the quality of health service delivery and issues around retooling of our health facilities. And of course, we'll also talk about the good old National Health Insurance Scheme. Kwabena Mintah Akandoh, good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
How are you doing?
By the grace of God.
You were the ranking member for health, so it looks like the president's equation was, if you serve as ranking, I'll give you the position. So I think Roads Minister did the same, Finance was the same. I think you too, you were in that category. I'm not sure if he told you, he didn't mention your work in opposition as part of the reason why he was giving you this role.
Not at all.
He did not.
As far as I'm concerned, I do not know why His Excellency the President thinks that I should be the best person to be in the ministry. So he didn't give me that.
He didn't give you that background. But how long were you on the health committee in?
I was the ranking member on the health committee for 7 years.
Which means 2 parliaments.
Yes. So from 2016 to 2017, Honorable Yerichire was the ranking on the health committee. So I took over from Honorable Yerichire around 2018.
Okay.
So
wow. So the 2021 parliament, you were still ranking member?
Yes, I was still ranking member.
How did that happen? Because I know you're a farmer. I know you did statistics. So how did you end up on the health committee? Where did you get interested in health?
Well, that's a very interesting question. You know, when I came to Parliament in 2016, after the 2016 election, I was made a deputy ranking on lands and natural resources. So at a point in time, the leadership of Parliament called me and they say they want to take me to the health committee. So about 2 weeks discussion, and then at the end of the day, they came to a consensus that there's something they want me to go and do on the committee. And so it was a lengthy discussion. At the point in time, people thought that I should go to the Committee on Cocoa Affairs and the Agric and all that. But at the end of the day, given the architecture of Parliament at the time and the leadership, they thought that I could play that role.
How critical is the health committee to the work of a minister?
The health committee actually plays the oversight responsibility on the health sector in the whole country. So
essentially, most of the policy implementation of the minister, so the committee would know.
Whether it is the LIs or the bills or everything health in the country goes to the health committee.
Interesting. It looked like when you were the ranking on that committee, you developed this approach of visiting facilities and showing what was there. I think a few media reports did that. In fact, some of my members' media team followed you. You would go to a hospital which was either not finished or there was something wrong, and then you would speak. That seems to have been your style. And some people think you've continued that style as minister. Is that correct?
Yeah. Bernard, I am not the type who always want to sit at one place and work. I'm a grassroots person, and so I will always want to go to the grounds and familiarize myself, to have first-hand information. And for me, that will inform decision-making. You know, you interact with the people, you know what the people are going through. And for example, if you pay unannounced visit, you get to know the realities on the ground than giving notice that you are coming, so that people may even do the writing and you may not see the reality on the ground. So for me, that has been my style. I will always want to go to the grounds, and then that has also helped me to take certain decisions that are very popular with the people. So
it's not something you regret doing, the fact that you show up unannounced at a facility?
I have never regretted, and I'll continue to
do it.
Yeah.
Some people think that as minister, it may not be the best because, you know, as opposition, going to a facility to show what is not working may be good because the public wants things to be solved. But as minister, as the duty bearer, when you go there, it's like you are shaming your staff. It's like you appear somewhere and then you are like, what's happening? Why is this not here? What's going on here? It presents a picture of you trying to catch them, which is why a lot of people have criticized it.
Everybody and his style. You understand? The intention is not to expose anybody per se.
Okay.
The intention is for me to know the realities on the ground.
All right.
You understand? Because we have done certain things in a particular manner that hasn't given us the desired result. I am of the view that sometimes if as a minister you sit in the office and send people to the grounds to bring you a report, you may not know the realities on the ground.
Okay.
So I would like to go to the grounds, and I want everybody, every health professional to feel that, look, irrespective of where you are, you can see the minister at any given time.
Okay.
You are not too far from the minister. So it's my style, and I don't regret doing that, and I'll continue to do that.
Let me just do two things on that before we come to the issues on recruitment. I think the first major story, high-profile story that your name was associated with was the Tamale Teaching Hospital incident, where you went there, and for some reason, the medical professionals, they got upset about something you said and decided they weren't going to work anymore. Why did you go there? And can you explain because you went with the MP for the Tamale North. What was the urgency of going there physically?
Good. Bernard, a night to the day I went there, I picked information that one young guy had lost his life. And so there was agitation building up in the media, especially on social media. And that was the time I was doing this unannounced visit. So at dawn, I decided to, because the information I picked was that the youth were massing up to attack the health professionals at Tamale Teaching Hospital.
Really?
Yes, they were very angry as to how that particular boy was handled. And at the end of the day, we even lost that boy. And so that morning, I took the first flight to Tamale.
Okay.
And then when I arrived, I called the CEO for the facility, and then I told him, yes, I'm here and I want to see what is happening. So he started conducting me around. So we went round and I saw some of the things that were not very pleasant, and we had a lengthy chat and conversation. And we even had behind the scene meeting, try to draw their attention to some of the things I had seen, and they were not in order. So we went to the emergency unit. I started asking them, probing into the incident. And then they told me the incident was around having mobile ventilators and what have you. But the story had it that after the time the patient arrived, there were some empty beds. So at that point, the media was not with us. So I asked, so why were there empty beds and yet you couldn't bring that patient to the emergency unit? And he said, well, at the time, another patient had rang that he was coming by the ambulance. And so they didn't want to occupy that bed so that when that one who they were expecting comes, they will not have any place for him. And so I advised them. Then we went down there, and I met this gentleman, a medical doctor, trying to take me through the processes. But at the point in time, he was very upset. So I took my time listening to him. So he was screaming on top of his voice. And so,
upset at you?
Yes. I mean, at that point, his body posture and everything, and there were a lot of people around. The cameras were, the media men, everybody were following us. So after the explanation, I decided to continue my round. But I heard him still talking at the back and screaming on top of his voice. So then I dashed back. And I said, gentlemen.
How many of you, were you there with the MP?
I was there with the MP.
I see.
I was there with the MP. One of the statements he made and the MP got angry was that, why is it that this issue has been blown out of proportion? And so the MP said,
so this is Alassane Suhuyini?
Suhuyini. The MP said, a whole human being is dead, and you don't understand why it's been blown out of proportion? You understand? And so I dashed back to him. I said, if you can talk to the minister this way, then I can imagine what you do to the patients here. So at that point, when I was dashing back to him to tell him, because we had concluded the conversation, I was walking away and he was still talking. That was where the media captured it, and then they were circulating everything everywhere. But wow. I thought it's part of the...
So when the health workers said they were not going to work until you apologized, you were
there was no need for an apology anyway.
You were taken aback by the... Was it the reportage that got them angry, or what they saw there?
Well, I was actually surprised about what could cause anybody angry. Because if anything at all, I thought that the leadership there would have also been worried about the way and manner the medical doctor spoke to his minister. It's not the Kwabena Mintah in person I'm talking about. But whether you like it or not, at that point in time, you had met your minister. Respect is supposed to be reciprocal, you understand? And so I was actually taken aback as to why anybody would think that it is the minister rather who should apologize. Okay. When at the glare view of everybody, it is rather the medical doctor who had disrespected the minister, you know. So they came, we sat down, the Ghana Medical Association leadership came, we sat down, I explained it to them, and they said they needed some equipment. We mobilized and gave it to them, and then let bygones. Yeah.
And of course, there was also the Ridge Hospital.
Yeah.
Ralph and his. I'm told for both events you commissioned the report.
Yes. So we have a report that we are implementing at the moment. So the Ralph one too, as you recall, allegedly. There was some kind of delay in attending to a patient. And then Ralph showed up. Apparently, Ralph was also seeking some medical attention. So according to him, there was some delay. And so they felt threatened at the time because according to the health professionals, Ralph had organized some people to come and attack them. So in that morning, I sent a delegation to the hospital. Okay, for some information for me. And then when they came back, they said the nurses were very apprehensive and they were not comfortable and they were even considering going home and all that. And you know, Reg is not too far from the ministry. So I decided to walk and then go and talk to them to reassure them. Okay. So I went there. So after talking to them, we had a closed door meeting to try to tease out the issues that caused that and all that. After addressing them and I was coming out, this gentleman, Ralph, pulled out and then stretched his hands to greet me and trying to whisper something into my ears. I greeted him. In fact, I didn't even know him.
Oh, you didn't know who he was?
I didn't even know in the initial. So it was my officers who drew my attention that was Ralph.
I see.
Okay. So
people were angry that you were shaking his hand when he had assaulted the nurse allegedly, and then the minister was caught being cozy with him. So you didn't know who he was?
No, as at the time I was greeting him, I was stretching my hand, I knew. But as at the time he was approaching, I didn't even know who he was.
I see.
Yes. So I greeted him and later commissioned the inquiry.
So have you made any changes to Tamale or Ridge on the basis of those two incidents? Has anything, what was the most important thing that has changed in those two hospitals?
Well, in Tamale, for example, we gave them a number of equipment, more than 2 million worth of medical equipment. Ridge 2, we have beefed up the security there. Even Ridge, we have not finished implementing the recommendation. We are still implementing the recommendation.
I see. Let's deal with the issue on the first issue. The minority held a press conference, I think, a day or two ago. I think Dr. Uefree addressed the press. I just wanted to play a few of the things he said for your reaction. So, guys, if you have the Dr. Uefree video ready, I think I can add. He addressed a number of issues. Chronicle had a very interesting front page. It says, Massa, stop the tobe and employ the people. That was Chronicle's front page interpretation of what Uefree said. So let's hear Uefree and I will take your reaction.
In normal public administration and civil service of this country, financial clearances expire. Even under this government, they will have financial clearances expire and they will go for extension. It is a normal practice in the system. It's no news, but you could only use it when you go for an extension for the Ministry of Finance. So why didn't government see the need? Money was allocated for 15,000. You came in 7,000 or almost 8,000 had started. The remaining were employed by Ghana Health Service, albeit they were late, but they were at post. You didn't see the need to tell the institutions to reject them. Neither did the institutions write to you to reject them. What it meant was that they filled the gap and they were needed to be at post. So the institution used them. Except for political reasons. They did not extend this for political reasons. And then 10 months down, they faced an embarrassment where the students or the staff went on a public agitation, demonstration, to draw your mind to this clearance and the need for extension. Embarrassing enough, you are saying that you've taken it to cabinet for an approval. What sort of cabinet do you have to take for an approval when you have a clearance already? You're throwing that in the eyes of the people. So government created a mess. And they've seen 10 months, it's caught up on them, and they are fixing it.
So that was Dr. Ayew Free. I think you should respond directly to what he said. He doesn't understand why you're even going to cabinet. He says it's a mess you've created and you are fixing it and you are using cabinet as an excuse. What's your response?
So, Bernard, the reality is that in 2024, government started to recruit nurses and midwives. So the summary is that they recruited about 13,500 nurses and midwives and issued clearance.
Okay.
Once you issue clearance, you must make financial provision. Clearance is just not a paper. It's not just like you can issue clearance at any given time. You must issue clearance when indeed you can pay, when you recruit the people. So they issued the clearance and the clearance expired on 31st December 2024. What it means is that before the expiration of the clearance, you must necessarily have all these 13,500 people on the payroll.
Okay.
As at the end of the 31st December 2024, not a single one of the 13,500 people were on the payroll.
These 13,500, when were they recruited?
They were recruited in 2024. They started around August, thereabout.
And they were given clearance.
And they were given
but
clearance.
Not paid.
But they were given clearance, but they so
financial provision was not made.
Was not made. Do you understand? So when this expired, we took office in 2025 January. So when we came, there were two options available because there were no allocation for these, nurses and midwives. So we had two. It was not as though they had put them on the payroll and we came and we said we won't pay them. That is not the situation. So there were two options available. One, let them go home and look for the funding and extend the, the clearance, and then they come and work. Two, you can allow them to work whilst you look at how you will pay them. Because that was not captured as part of our budget.
Because your minister did his budget in March. So are you saying that even though the previous government hadn't made provision for these guys, the first budget was read by Atu?
It was also not captured at all.
Why didn't Atu put the 13,500 in his budget for 2025 March? Is it that he didn't know that they had been recruited and then cleared and clearance had expired?
You know, there were a lot of things. You see, during transition period, you get the reports, and based on the report, you do your budget. And in most cases, they were not in the handing over notes at all.
I see.
So as you go along, you try to unravel some of these things. Do you understand? And so as at the time I took over, and I took over around February, later part of February. You understand? And so as at the time we came, there were no allocation whatsoever to the 13,500 people. So we decided that, okay, no matter what they've been recruited, so let them stay and let's try to put them on the payroll. We make some adjustment. So I have been collaborating with the minister responsible for finance, and out of the 13,500, it's not as though we went to sleep. We managed to put about 7,000 of them on the
That's about half of them.
That's about half of them. So half of them were being paid. In fact, the reality is that we captured about 10,000 of them on the payroll, but only 7,000 on the payroll were being paid.
As of which period? When did you start paying them?
Oh, that's at the time. That's about. Some of them have received payment from March thereabout.
I see.
As at the time we realized that there was.
These are the 2024 recruited, financially cleared, but no provision made for.
Not even the financial clearance expired. So as at the time we inherited, there was no extension.
So you are saying that from March 2025, you managed to pay you started paying about 7,000 of them.
So we were, onboarding them gradually.
Okay.
Okay, we were onboarding them gradually. So it got to a time that we realized that there were a lot of things, more than even the 13,500 nurses they had recruited. There were arrears of, allowances. There were, conditions of service that had been signed and they were not implemented. There were housemanship from 2023 to 2024 that were also arrears, especially the pharmacist people. We had to pay. So it was like the budget was becoming
much bigger.
So, and if at the point that we realize that if we don't go back to cabinet to take a decision on it, it will throw the budget off.
So you're saying you had to go to cabinet because the number of nurses who were to be employed from 2024 was larger than you knew from the handing over?
From the handing over. Right from the handing over.
Good. I'll take a break. When I come back, I'll go back to something. I interviewed the Deputy Finance Minister on Thursday or so last week, and he said there were 75,000 health professionals who needed to be put on the payroll at the cost of 6 billion cedis. Do you have a breakdown of that?
Yeah, we have it. I think.
Okay, when we come back, I'll let you talk me through that. 75,000.
It's around 74,000
health professionals.
Health professionals who has been trained, pharmacists, nurses.
Trained from which year?
From the nurses, for example, we have backlog from 2021.
Wow.
What we are discussing now is a 2020 bar.
Wow.
So we have 2021 at home, 2024 at home, 2024 at home, 2023 at home.
74?
In some cases, from even 2019 till date.
You are serious?
Yes. So
2019?
Yes, you check.
Before COVID?
You will see it.
75,000?
These are some of the things we have inherited.
I'll take a break.
And we are cleaning it gradually.
I'll take a break. We're talking to Health Minister Kwabena Akandoh. You can send your questions as well. We're trying to understand and break down this perennial issue of recruitment, nurses, medical professionals asking to be employed. Stay with us.